Hey everyone, welcome to Edge Science. My name is Aditya and I'll be your instructor for today. In today's session, we are going to talk about data analysis with Python using one simple case study. The dataset we'll be using is Superstore Sales dataset, which is one of the most popular dataset used for data analysis. To get access of this dataset, just click on the link given in the description below. And that link will open this GitHub page. And to access all the files, I recommend you to fork this repo and clone it locally. Or you can simply click on this green button over here and download the zip file. The zip folder will have three files, having sales analysis Python file, the Edge Science logo, and Superstore sales file, which is in the XLSX format. And before starting it, I would suggest you to subscribe this channel for more case studies like this. Let's start with getting deeper into the data and let's see how the dataset looks like in Excel. So this is how the dataset looks like in Excel. We have order ID, order date, ship date, ship mode, customer name, segment, state, country, market, region, and few other columns like sales, quantity, discount, profit. And in total, we have around 51,290 records in this Excel file. Let's begin with the analysis in Python Jupyter Notebook. So to open Jupyter Notebook, I'll simply open my terminal and type Jupyter Notebook over here. If you don't have your Jupyter Notebook installed, I'll simply put a link in the description below. Just follow the instructions and install it in your PC. So I'll simply create a new file over here and let's give it a name like Pandas Sales Analysis. So let's begin with the sales analysis. First of all, let's discuss the objective for today. So first of all, we'll be discussing what is the overall sales trend. Then we'll be discussing what are the top 10 products by sales. Then we'll be discussing what are the most selling products. Then we'll be discussing which is the most preferred ship mode. And at last, we'll be discussing which are the most profitable categories and subcategories. So let's begin with importing few of the libraries we'll be using in our data while doing the data analysis. I'll comment out each and every line so that it will be easier for you when you will be replicating the same in your Jupyter Notebook. So importing required libraries. The first one would be for data manipulation. We'll be using Pandas library. When you download Anaconda, Pandas comes by default. So I'll import Pandas library, Pandas using EDS as PD, and we'll be using Matplotlib and seaborn for data visualization. Using one magic function. And I'll import seaborn. So these are the three libraries we'll be using for the whole data analysis. Now let's import the data set. I'll be importing it in a data frame df and using one syntax known as pd.read underscore excel, since the file is in the XLSX format. So I'll just simply type sup and then put a tab. So I'll get all the files starting with sup in that particular folder in which this particular Python file is. So let's import this file. Notice this might take a while because we have more than 51,000 records, that too in the XLSX format. So this takes a bit time. Now, since we have imported our library, it's time for some data auditing. So we cannot make our data work for us until we know what data we are talking about. It is very important to make friendship with the data, to know how many columns do we have, how many records we have, what are the data types, are there any missing values, are there any outliers present in the data set. So these are the some of the most important things any professional, any analyst, data scientist, business analyst will spend most of his time in doing this thing. Let's have a look at the data set. To get a quick idea of what the data looks like, we can call the head function on the data frame. So let's comment it out first 5 rows of the data set. So I'll simply use a head function. This will return the first 5 rows. Note, I can write 10 here as well to get the 10 rows. But for now we'll be just fine. We are fine with 5 rows. If you notice, this is the same look like we have seen in the Excel before. We have order ID, order date, ship mode, customer name, segment, and everything we have. Let's now look at the last 5 rows. Like, how does it look like? So these are the 5 rows, last 5 rows, order ID, order date, everything is pretty much same. But from these 10 rows, I cannot tell exactly what are the number of rows and what are the number of columns present in the data set. For that, I'll use shape function to get the shape of the data set. Let's comment it out, df.shape. Now we got the exact number of records. So we have 51,290 records, which are exactly same like we had it in Excel. So we have replicated the same Excel file in now Python, and we have in total 21 columns. But since you can observe that we are not able to see properly what are the exact number of columns because of this dot between all these columns, we do not know the name of all the columns till now. So let's get the columns present in the data set using df.columns. So yeah, so now we got the total number of columns in our data set. So now let's get a concise summary of the data set. So df.info is one such function which will give us a small summary of the data set regarding data types, number of elements, number of entries, number of columns. So this will show us, and this is in line with the previous one which we did before, that we have 51290 entries and total 21 columns. Sometimes what happens when we have a raw data set, when we are working on the real world problems, and when we get the raw data set, sometimes the dates are not in the right format, the one which we need. So we can see here order ID is in the object format, order date and ship date are in the date time format. So in total we have 2 date times format, 4 float values, 4 float columns, 2 integer columns, and 13 object columns. So now we can do further analysis on our data set to answer our questions we asked before. But before that, we should see if there are any missing values in our data set. To check if there are any missing values in the entire data set, we'll use isNull function. Like, are there any missing values present? So df.isNull is the function. We can use isNA as well to check it out. So this will show the exact number of, this function will show the exact number of missing values present in each of the columns. Since every column is showing 0, which means that we have 0 number of missing values. We are lucky that we have such a nice data set with no missing values. While we won't focus in this particular video, but a data scientist or an analyst will spend the 90% of their time cleaning and wrangling the data. Since we do not have any missing values, we can start doing the further analysis on the data set. So let's check it out, a small descriptive statistic summary of our data set. So I'll be using describe function to get the descriptive statistic summary. Oh, what's the error? Okay, the syntax error. So now we are good to go. So if you see it here, this shows some descriptive statistic on the dataset. Notice it only shows the statistics on the numerical columns. From here, you can see the following statistics like row count, which aligns to what the shape attribute showed us, the mean, or we can call it the average as well, the standard deviation, that how spread our data is, the minimum and the maximum value of each column, the number of items that fall within the first, second, and third percentiles. So we can tell a decent amount of our data from this, such as the average sales are 246, the average quantity sold are 3, and the average discount is 0.4, and the average profit we are getting from a product is 28. So we can tell a decent amount of data from this. Since we have done, like, now we are familiar with the data, we know how many number of columns are there, how many records are there in the data set, are there any missing values present in the data set, what are the data types. So after this, let's perform some exploratory data analysis to gather some insights from this data set. So let's perform some exploratory data analysis, beginning with the first question, that what is the overall sales trend? So let's first check it out. What is the minimum date we have? The minimum date we have is 1st of January 2011, and let's check out the maximum date. The maximum date we have is 31st December 2014, which says that the data set we have is from 1st January 2011 to 31st of December 2014. And let's fetch out the month and year column, month and year from this order date. So for that, I'll just simply type month, year, and df. If I type tab after order, so I'll get all the columns related to order. The one we need is order date. I'll apply one simple function to get the year from this data set. So this is how it looks like. Let me show you. So now initially we had day, month and year. Now we have month and year. So we'll be plotting a graph, a line graph to be precise, to show what was the overall sales trend monthly. So let me comment it out. And then I'll group by month here, df dot group by. I'll take the sum of month year. After grouping it by month year, we got month on month sales, quantity, discount, profit, shipping cost, year, the sum of everything. We only need sales here. So let's fetch the sales from here. Now we have, and let's get it in the data frame format by resetting the index. So this is how the data set looks like, the new data set. Let's give a name to it, df month, year, or we can say it df trend, df monthly trend, we can say it. Let's comment it out. Grouping month, year. So it's time to plot the graph. So I'll simply use Matplotlib plt.plot. On x-axis we should have df trend month, year. Let's keep month, year, and on y-axis let's keep sales, and I'll simply press enter. So I got the line graph, but I'm not able to see these data points on which particular month what was the sales. For that I need to set the figure size first. Let's set the figure size. So the figure size should be 15 by 6, I guess. Let's check it out. Yeah, perfect. Now it aligns completely with the dimensions, but I'm still not able to see the exact numbers. Let's tilt it for 90 degrees. So for that I'll use plt.xtext x text, and then rotation equals to vertical, and let's keep the font size to be 8. Let's see how it looks like. Perfect. Yeah, this is looking great. Now we can see a clear graph. Let's remove this by using a plt.show. All right, cool. Let's color this line using this syntax. Yeah. Let's find out some of the insights from this data. If you clearly observe this data, if you spend time on this particular graph, you can see that in the initial first 4 months, the sales are quite low. Like the first of in January 2011, February, March and April, the sales are quite low. In the first 5 months, to be precise, then we have a great sales amount from June to December. Like, and if you see it in the 2011, then again in the 2012, first month of 2012, second, third, fourth, similar pattern is observed in 2013 as well, and in 2014 as well. So we can say initial 4 months the sales are not that much high, but after 4 months the sales gets increased drastically. But if you see the overall pattern, that which means that sales are increasing, which means overall the company is growing. So now let's begin with another question, which was, what are the top 10 products by sales? So let's check it out, which are the top 10 products by sales. Let's see what our data was. So this was our data, and for that we'll need 2 to 3 columns. 2 columns. First one is sales, and the second one is product name. First one is product name, and the second one is sales. So let's see what the product name looks like. All right, this is how the product name looks like, and we'll group it. Let me comment it out. Grouping product name column by df dot group by product name, and we'll just take the sum of it. Oh, we got an error. Okay, and sum of sales. Oh, I forgot to use p. So these are the common mistakes which happens with everybody. So here we got the sales by every product, and let's convert it into a data frame. So now we have one data frame for this, and let's put it in an object like product sales. Now we have grouped it. Now sort it, because we need to sort it in the descending format from higher to lower side. So let's sort it in a proper format. Using sort underscore values function. We need to sort it by sales in descending format. So we'll simply use ascending equals to false. So if you see it here, now we have all the products sorted in the descending order by sales. So let's put it in this format. And to get the top 10 most selling products, let me comment it out. Just wait a second. Sorting. And now let's fetch the first 10 columns. So I'll simply use this column 10 will fetch the first 10 columns from the data frame. So these are the top 10 products by sales. So here we got the answer. Apple smartphone full size, Cisco smartphone full size, Motorola, Nokia, Canon Image Class 20, 2200, advanced copier. These are the top 10 products by sales. And we can show it to anyone. We can show it to our manager, stakeholder, anyone, that these are the most selling products. These are the products that are giving us the maximum sales, and we can like further implement any marketing strategy. We can recommend them, and there are thousand numbers of strategies we can follow with these 10 products if we want to. So now let's begin with the third question we had. The third question we had is, what are the most selling products? Which are the most selling products? Let me comment it out. Which are the most selling products? So we'll simply use the above method only, but with a slight change. Let's again group product name. So this time we'll use df.group by product name, and we'll sum. So we got the sum of every descriptive value we had, but this time we'll not check sales since we are finding out which are the most selling products. So this time we'll go with quantity. So let's take quantity. So we got the quantity of every product, and let's convert it into a data frame. So now we have a data frame quantity wise, and let's put it in another object. We can say product, let's say most sell product. All right, and again we'll sort it. So let's sort it using sort underscore values. This time, last time we sorted it by sales. This time we'll sort it by quantity. Quantity in descending format, and if you remember, we use ascending equals to both. Same we'll use. Oh, we have one thing. Yeah. So we have sorted it in the descending format, and let's put it in this. So now we have most selling products sorted in the descending order, and let's fetch it up. Let's fetch top 10 products from that, which are the most top 10 most selling products. So I'll simply use the same format, colon 10. This will fetch the top 10 products. Now staples, cardinal index tab, Ellen file cart, Rogers file. These are the products sold in the most number of quantities. So in the similar way, we can apply any of the strategy. If you want to know what could be the strategies, just write it in the comment down below. And if you can have some strategies, how can we promote these products? How can we promote most selling products? How can we apply any strategy to like top products by sales? Just write it in the comment section below. So let's move on to the third question what we had initially. So the third question is, what is the most preferred ship mode? Let me do it here. So let's begin with what is the most preferred ship mode. For this, we'll use seaborn library for visualization. We'll simply use sns.countplot, and we'll be just counting the number of ship modes present in the data set, and df just type it ship, and like this tab will auto complete the things. Ship, we have ship mode, and if I print it, we got it. Like as you can see from the graph, standard class is the most preferred ship mode of all the people out of the 51,000 records we have for over 4 years. Standard class is the most preferred ship mode. Let me comment it out. So as you can see, the picture is quite small. Let me do some settings for this. Setting figure size. If you remember from the previous tab we had, plt.figure, then fig size equals to whatever size we want. Like let's put it 8 comma 8.5, 10 comma 8.5. Yeah, cool. plt.show. Yeah, cool. Now we can see it. Standard class is the most preferred ship mode, and we can apply any of the strategies. These I'm finding some of the insights. If you want us to give us the solutions as well, do mention in the comment section below. From the next case study, we'll apply some. We'll suggest some marketing strategies as well. So now let's move on to the last question we have, which are the most profitable category and subcategory. Initially, I was grouping by one single column. This time I'll group it by two columns, the category and the subcategory. I'll simply use df.group by using category and subcategory. I'll take the sum. So I got sum of category, subcategory wise, in of sales, quantity, discount, profit, shipping cost. But since we are looking for the most profitable, so this time we'll take profit from here. So as you can see, profit. Reset. Let's convert it into a data frame. PD dot. So this is how it looks like. So we got the profit of each subcategory category wise. Let me put it in an object, cat profit, and let me sort it. Sort underscore values, this time by category and profit in the descending format. So we'll use ascending equals to false. Yeah, perfect. This is how it looks like. So these are the, let me comment it out. Sorting the result. So now we have answered all of the questions. So overall, we answered all of the questions which we mentioned in the beginning. That is, what is the overall sales trend? What are the top 10 products by sales? What are the most selling products? Which are the most preferred ship mode? Which are the most profitable category and subcategory? If you have anything else to add in this case study, please do mention in the comment section below. If this case study was helpful for you, make sure like the video and do subscribe the channel. If you have any ideas in mind, if you want us to do more case studies like this on Pandas, Matplotlib, NumPy, seaborn in Python, if you want to do more case studies on using different platforms like SQL, SAS, Excel, just mention in the comment section below. And make sure you do subscribe the channel for more such videos.